What if I told you that every single empire, every fortune worth billions, every legacy that spans generations, started with one thing that costs absolutely nothing, but most people refuse to pay the price for it? Right now, as you're watching this, there are people making decisions that will echo through history, while others are making excuses that will echo through nothing. The difference between these two groups isn't talent, isn't luck, isn't even opportunity. It's something far more fundamental and far more terrifying to face. If something just shifted inside you hearing that, hit that like button and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover together will either change everything about how you see yourself or it will make you incredibly uncomfortable. Either way, you need to hear this. There exists a particular way of thinking that separates the builders from the dreamers, the creators from the consumers, the legends from the forgotten. This mindset doesn't announce itself with fanfare or wait for perfect conditions. It operates in silence, in the spaces between thoughts, in the moments when everyone else gives up. Once you understand how this mental framework actually functions, you don't just change your results. You change your entire relationship with what's possible. You become someone the world cannot ignore, cannot stop, cannot break. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in action. Imagine waking up every single day with such crystal clear certainty about where you're going that external opinions become background noise. Picture having such unshakable confidence in your vision that setbacks feel like redirections rather than roadblocks. Envision possessing the kind of mental fortitude that turns every challenge into fuel, every criticism into clarity, every failure into feedback. This isn't fantasy. This is how empire builders think. This is how unstoppable people operate. The first pillar of this mindset is what I call inner certainty, and it's the foundation everything else is built on. Most people spend their entire lives seeking validation from others before they believe in themselves. They wait for permission, for approval, for someone else to tell them their dreams are worth pursuing. Empire builders flip this completely upside down. They develop such profound belief in their vision that external validation becomes irrelevant. They know, with every fiber of their being, that what they're building has value, even when nobody else can see it yet. This inner certainty isn't delusion or blind confidence. It's something far more sophisticated. It's the result of deep introspection, honest self-assessment, and unwavering commitment to a purpose bigger than personal comfort. When you possess this quality, you stop asking whether you can succeed and start asking how you will succeed. The question shifts from if to when, from maybe to absolutely. This mental shift changes everything about how you show up in the world. Think about the great empire builders throughout history. They shared this quality of absolute conviction. When everyone said it couldn't be done, when markets crashed around them, when critics lined up to predict their failure, they remained anchored to their vision. Not because they were stubborn or foolish, but because they had done the internal work necessary to know, beyond any shadow of doubt, that their mission mattered. The second pillar is discipline over emotion. And this is where most people's dreams come to die. We live in a culture that worships feelings, that tells us to follow our emotions, to do what feels good in the moment. Empire builders understand that feelings are terrible leaders, but excellent servants. They master the art of acting not based on how they feel, but based on what needs to be done. This doesn't mean they suppress their emotions or pretend they don't exist. It means they refuse to let temporary emotional states dictate permanent life decisions. When they don't feel like working, they work anyway. When they don't feel motivated, they rely on systems instead. When fear whispers reasons to quit, they acknowledge the fear and proceed regardless. Discipline becomes their compass when motivation fails them. They understand that motivation is like weather, constantly changing and completely unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, is like gravity, constant and dependable. They build their lives around this principle, creating routines and habits that move them forward, regardless of how they feel on any given day. Most people wait to feel ready, wait to feel inspired, wait to feel confident. Empire builders start before they're ready, create their own inspiration through action, and build confidence through competence. They know that feelings follow actions, not the other way around. When you consistently choose discipline over emotion, you develop what I call emotional sovereignty, the ability to feel whatever you feel without being controlled by it. The third pillar is perhaps the most counterintuitive, turning pressure into movement. While most people spend enormous energy avoiding discomfort, trying to find the easy path, looking for shortcuts and hacks, empire builders do something radically different. They lean into pressure. They understand that pressure is not their enemy but their teacher, not an obstacle, but an opportunity. When faced with challenges, instead of asking why this is happening to them, they ask what this is preparing them for. They recognize that every significant achievement requires them to become someone they've never been before, and that transformation only happens under pressure. Like diamonds formed deep in the earth under immense heat and pressure, unstoppable people use difficult circumstances as the forge for their character. This perspective shift changes everything. Suddenly, problems become puzzles to solve rather than evidence of your inadequacy. Setbacks become setups for comebacks. Failures become education. Critics become coaches, pointing out weaknesses you need to address. This doesn't mean they enjoy suffering or seek out unnecessary hardship. It means they extract maximum value from every difficult situation they encounter. They develop what could be called pressure immunity, the ability to function at peak performance regardless of external stress. While others crumble under pressure, they thrive under it. While others make excuses, they make progress. While others retreat, they advance. This quality alone separates empire builders from everyone else. The fourth pillar is ruthless focus on the mission, and this might be the most challenging aspect of the unstoppable mindset to master. In a world designed to scatter your attention in 1,000 different directions, empire builders become masters of singular focus. They understand that attention is the currency of achievement, and they guard it more carefully than they guard their money. This means saying no to good opportunities, so they can say yes to great ones. It means eliminating activities that don't directly contribute to their mission, even if those activities are enjoyable or socially expected. It means turning down invitations, avoiding time wasters, and sometimes disappointing people who want pieces of their time and energy. They treat their time like the finite, precious resource it is. Every hour not invested in their mission is an hour that can never be recovered. This creates a sense of urgency that drives consistent action. They don't have time for drama, gossip, or activities that don't move them closer to their goals. This isn't cold or heartless. It's strategic and necessary. Focus also means mental clarity about what truly matters. Empire builders can distinguish between urgent and important, between busy work and meaningful work, between motion and progress. They become experts at identifying the few activities that produce the majority of their results. Then they double down on those activities while ruthlessly eliminating everything else. This level of focus requires tremendous discipline because it means constantly choosing delayed gratification over immediate pleasure, long-term vision over short-term comfort. But this is precisely what creates the unstoppable momentum that eventually becomes impossible to ignore. Now let's talk about how these pillars work together in real-life situations. Imagine you're building something significant, whether that's a business, a movement, or any meaningful endeavor. You will inevitably face moments when everything seems to be falling apart. This is when your inner certainty becomes your anchor, keeping you steady when external circumstances are chaotic. Your discipline over emotion prevents you from making reactive decisions based on temporary setbacks. Instead of panicking or giving up, you maintain your routines, stick to your systems, and continue executing your plan. Your ability to turn pressure into movement means you actually perform better under these challenging conditions, using the stress as fuel rather than letting it paralyze you. Your ruthless focus ensures you don't get distracted by the noise, the criticism, or the temptation to chase easier alternatives. You remain locked onto your mission, making decisions based on what will serve your long-term vision rather than what will provide short-term relief. This combination creates something remarkable. A person who becomes more formidable as circumstances become more challenging. While others are looking for exits, you're looking for solutions. While others are making excuses, you're making progress. While others are retreating, you're advancing. But here's what most people miss about this mindset. It's not about being invulnerable or fearless. Empire builders feel fear just like everyone else. They experience doubt, uncertainty, and moments of questioning just like everyone else. The difference is, they refuse to let these natural human emotions dictate their actions. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of fear. They know that confidence isn't feeling certain about the outcome. It's being certain about their commitment to the process. They recognize that strength isn't never falling down. It's always getting back up. This creates what I call anti-fragile leadership, the quality of becoming stronger through stress rather than weaker. Every challenge they overcome increases their capacity to handle bigger challenges. Every obstacle they navigate builds their problem-solving abilities. Every failure they recover from expands their resilience. The compound effect of this approach is extraordinary. Small, consistent actions, guided by unwavering focus and fueled by disciplined execution, create momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. Like a freight train that starts slowly but becomes impossible to stop once it reaches full speed. People with this mindset build such powerful forward momentum that obstacles simply get pushed aside. This is why timing often seems perfect for empire builders. It's not that they have better luck or more favorable circumstances. It's that they've been consistently moving forward for so long that when opportunities arise, they're already in position to capitalize on them. When others are still preparing, they're already executing. But perhaps the most profound aspect of this mindset is how it changes your relationship with time itself. Most people think in terms of days, weeks, maybe months. Empire builders think in terms of decades and lifetimes. They make decisions today based on where they want to be 20 years from now. This long-term perspective allows them to endure short-term sacrifices that others find unbearable. They plant seeds knowing they may not see the full harvest, but understanding that the planting is still worthwhile. They invest in relationships, skills, and systems that may not pay dividends for years, but they do it anyway because they're building for permanence, not just profit. This temporal perspective also changes how they handle setbacks. What looks like a catastrophic failure in the short term often reveals itself as a necessary stepping stone in the long term. They've learned to zoom out, to see the bigger picture, to trust the process even when individual moments are challenging. The transformation that occurs when you fully embrace this mindset is profound. You stop being reactive and become proactive. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become an architect of outcomes. You stop hoping for change and start creating change. You stop waiting for motivation and start generating momentum. People begin to notice something different about you. There's a quality of inevitability around your goals that others can sense. You carry yourself differently, speak with greater authority, and make decisions with greater confidence. This isn't arrogance. It's the natural result of deep inner certainty combined with proven competence. Your presence in any room changes the energy because people can feel the difference between someone who hopes for success and someone who expects it, between someone who talks about dreams and someone who builds realities, between someone who wishes for change and someone who creates it. This mindset becomes your competitive advantage because while others are still deciding whether to start, you're already executing. While others are looking for perfect conditions, you're making progress in imperfect ones. While others are avoiding risks, you're managing them. While others are preserving what they have, you're building what they wish they had. The ripple effects extend far beyond your professional achievements. This way of thinking influences every aspect of your life. Your relationships become more intentional, your health becomes more prioritized, your personal development becomes more systematic. You begin to apply the same principles that build empires to build a life worth living. But here's the crucial understanding. This mindset is not reserved for a chosen few. It's not dependent on your background, your resources, or your current circumstances. It's a choice available to anyone willing to pay the price of consistent internal work. The price is discomfort, discipline, and delayed gratification. The reward is becoming unstoppable. The question isn't whether you're capable of developing this mindset. The question is whether you're willing to do what it takes to develop it. Are you willing to choose certainty over doubt? Are you willing to choose discipline over comfort? Are you willing to choose pressure over ease? Are you willing to choose focus over distraction? These choices, made consistently over time, compound into something extraordinary. They transform not just what you achieve, but who you become in the process of achieving it. They turn ordinary people into forces of nature, dreamers into builders, followers into leaders. Becoming unstoppable isn't about eliminating fear. It's about moving forward despite it. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it faster than your competition. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to find them. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. The empires of tomorrow are being built today by people who understand these principles and apply them relentlessly. The only question is whether you'll be among them. Comment unstoppable mindset if you're ready to start thinking like an empire builder. Like this video if it shifted something inside you, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, greatness doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and start taking action. Your empire awaits your decision.